Welcome back for another episode of My Life and Microgreens. Gonna show you a couple things that are going on. Some of those are not microgreens, but yeah, just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. Before we get into the microgreens too much, I want to show you how my starters are going. So I planted a bunch of different things, and I recorded it when I did it. So I thought I would show you what's going on. The plan was to do some of these hydroponically after they got going well. And I'm not sure I'm going to do that, and you'll see why in a minute. But yeah, so let's just walk through these real quick. These front guys here, these are peppers. This one is a habanero. And this one is a jalapeno. Now the habaneros, they're tough to get going, but once they get going, they grow really kind of bushy. And the jalapenos, I just don't have a whole lot of trouble with. They grow very similar to most other peppers. And then over here, I've got some other peppers. Not gonna go through the names of all of them, but some of them are doing really, really well. And then I've got some over here that are doing not so well, but they're still hanging in there. And back here, these were all habanero, and you can see that two of them didn't make it. And then I got this one here that's doing pretty good. So what happened with these was I had my tomatoes and my peppers all in this one tray. And tomatoes love water. You almost can't overwater tomatoes. And they will also suck it up really quick. Peppers, on the other hand, they don't want a lot of water. They actually want the soil to kind of dry up in between watering. And I think that's why these ones were yellowing. There was just too much water. And so I was watering the tray, and the tomatoes would be drying up during the day and falling over, and the peppers would have too much water. So let me show you what's going on with those tomatoes. So you can see here that I have my tomatoes are all replanted. You can see that they're actually very healthy, even though you can see that I've got some, you know, brown down below. But that's because I just transplanted these a couple days ago. They were actually going a little bit out of control for those little cubes you just saw. And so I repurposed them over here, and I'm using those LED lights again that I have. And then on top of all that, I've actually got this LED light, the shop light, right on top. So I've kind of blasted them with a couple different spectrums, I guess you could say. But these are going pretty well. I'm pretty happy with how they're doing, except I planted them too soon. And that's a bit of a problem. They're going wild, and I can't really get outside for a little while longer. Why don't I show you what it's like out there? This is the 3rd of April. And you can see I got some good-sized snowbanks. You can see the Microgreens Palace has still got snow all around it. And yeah, it's going to be a little while before I can get tomatoes and peppers outside. Want to show you, a little discouraging. So as you can see, it sucks outside. New England can be rough. You know, it's not always... sometimes I wonder why I live here. So you might remember I got some of this rainbow chard that I was very excited to grow from True Leaf Market. I'll leave a link in the description if you're curious to see where I get my seed. But anyways, it's actually looking pretty good. I made a mistake today, and you're going to see that throughout this video. I didn't water stuff enough this morning. I watered a bunch of things, but there were a couple things I thought were fine, so I didn't water them, and it was a mistake. So, you can see, got a little spot there where they kind of died off. I'm going to keep letting it go, though. For the most part, they look really good, but yeah, I definitely lost a bit of this tray. But, regarding that chard, let me show you something. This was stacked, so I had this one stacked on top of another tray, and I had, I think, a tray of beets stacked up on top of this tray, and I want to show you something that's really interesting. This is another tray of Rainbow Chard, and this one was the bottom tray, and for whatever reason it did not like all that weight, and I thought it was going to be a complete loss because when I unstacked it, that first tray I just showed you, they were all sprouting and pushing up the soil. This tray was not. I had, like, I think these guys showing, and that's it. It was flat. And so I thought there's no way, you know, I almost just tossed it right then. But I've noticed more and more of them starting to come up. And then today when I came home, there was a bunch of these shelves from the soil. It turns out Pro Mix that I'm using is not very good for a topsoil because it does stick together and cause these shelves, and they'll ruin your microgreens. Well, I just took a little knife and just kind of broke it up a little bit, and I'm waiting to see how that does. I think a lot of those are actually going to come up and be okay, but this is really an experimental tray at this point. I'm not going to get anything good out of that. Maybe break them up and grow them to full size or something. This is some cress that's ready to harvest. Here's some of that spicy oriental mustard that I really, really like. Here's another mistake I made this morning. This is another one of the trays I did not water in time. This is Detroit dark red beets, and yeah, I can save a lot of it. Part of the problem with beets, a lot of things like radishes or sunflower, if they fall over from drying out, you can water them and they'll stand right back up. Beets don't do that so well. You really can't let them dry out because the way they grow, they kind of just tangle up. And if they fall down, they can't really stand back up. I tried kind of untangling them, but it didn't really work too good. Some cilantro that's ready to go. This tray didn't do very well. Yeah, I haven't really been growing a lot of cilantro. These were whole seed too. They weren't split seed. But you can see I didn't get a whole lot of holes in it. So I'll cut that up. I have a customer that'd probably really like to have that. More amaranth. The amaranth has been doing pretty well. I do have one tray right now that's not doing all that great. Sometimes they do great, sometimes they don't. And sometimes you just don't know why. Like, you know, I've made a video on how to grow them perfectly. And you can see this tray is growing perfectly. And then I have another tray here that's had some issues. Somebody has suggested using cinnamon on the soil, and that will prevent damping off. And I may try that sometime. Some more of that mustard. That's going to get harvested tonight. This looks great. It's actually a really nice tray. Here's some cabbage. Red rock cabbage. It's more like a purple cabbage, but looks like I had one radish seed somehow make its way in there. I'm going to give that a few more days before I harvest that. This is that Radish Blend I've been using. It's Rainbow Radish, and I've got some Red Arrow in here, and some Trenton Purple, I believe it is. And you can see it just grows great. And that's a nice tray of radish. It's a way that I'm able to use this Rainbow, which is a little bit more expensive, and mix it in and not charge extra. And you get a really nice, you know, a really nice looking blend. That's ready to harvest right now. Here's some more amaranth that looks fantastic. Well, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little update. I know I didn't have a whole lot to show you, but maybe you'll get something out of this. Really wanted to get a video out for you guys. It's been a little while since I've made one, and I'm actually waiting for something in the mail that I'm going to be reviewing, and if it all works out, I'll be making a video to show you guys. Was hoping it would be here today. It's not. I've got a bunch of microgreens planted because I'm ready to test this thing, but we'll see. Alright? So stay posted for that. If everything works out, I should have that video up within a week. And I will see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share with your friends that are interested in this sort of thing. I'll talk to you later.